Hi guys, today we're going to be reviewing Faithful Unto Death by Caroline Graham. So this is book 5 of the 7 books she wrote as a part of the Midsummer Murders mystery series. So Midsummer Murders, if you guys are like, I've kind of heard of that. It is the TV show went off. It's like super famous. It's been going on for 20 years plus. It is still going. They've literally changed the actor who plays Tom Barnaby. They've changed his sidekick like a million times. But I think the book, because this is book 5 of 7 and it still has Gavin Choi, I think the book series is all Gavin Choi. So it's all like the first kind of sidekick he has, right? This book, however, sucks. I hate this book. I've watched the episode that relates to this book multiple times and I'm kind of like, I didn't mind it. It wasn't a bad episode. But the book definitely isn't great. And I feel like the writers of the show, they really needed to put in the work to make it a likable episode, right? So let's get straight into it. I have my notes. So let's get cracking. The plot, right? So Simone Hollingsworth, it's about the Hollingsworths. Simone, she goes missing and then less than a week later, her husband Alan dies and it's up to Tom Barnaby and Gavin Choi to figure out what's going on. The pacing of this book is incredibly slow. It is not a very long book. It's like 400 pages, right? It's not that bad, but oh my God, it is so drawn out that it is insane. So when they first find out that Simone has gone missing, Barnaby and Troy go and interview people. That makes sense. That's what you do. You interview everyone in the kind of area that it happened and, you figure out what's going on. Usually it's a bit of a summarized version. Not in this book. They interview every Tom, Dick, and Harry and literally half the people I don't even remember. Like, I don't know. They mention so many people and they interview so many people back to back to back. I'm like, wait, I don't know what's going on. Like, everyone has they describe them in like random ways. There's so much description, which is like fine. It's good to have description, right? You want to show rather than tell. But like the description is like so like convoluted that I'm just like, I don't know what you're talking about anymore. Like this is just like, I feel like you're just filling up words or filling up space to make the book longer. Like this book could have been half the length without this like bullshit descriptions that Graham included, right? And then also, nothing really happens in this book. And when it does, it happens right at the end, once Barnaby kind of catches the miscreant. And they're just talking about what they did, how they did it, what's going on kind of vibe. And then Barnaby has all these like revelations and he's like, oh, you did this and you did this and this is how it happened. And I'm just like, wait. Like, it's all just getting like thrown to you at the end. You kind of get like random sprinklings of it here and there. But like, obviously, you don't expect to like get the whole story the whole way through because that's how it's a mystery, right? You can't solve everything. But like, it's just so like little bits of nothingness that like when they tie it all together at the end, I'm kind of like, hold up, this is getting really confusing. Like, how did you get from here to here? Because like that wasn't really explained in the book. It was just a lot of like nonsense, So yeah, that wasn't great. The pacing isn't great. The characters. So we have DCI Tom Barnaby, Detective Chief Inspector Tom Barnaby, and then we have Detective Sergeant Gavin Choi. Let's start with the least worst of the two because they both kind of suck. So I just want to talk, I usually don't obviously I haven't come across this before where I've read a book and also have watched like the relevant movie or TV show, but I do want to explain. In the show, Gavin and Tom are really likable. They're very sweet. They're kind of a bit of a knob at times, but they are very likable, sweet, nice characters. They're good at their job. They can, hold relationships while still being able to interview people. It's just like a good time. In the book, Tom Barnaby is a middle-aged man. He's also a middle-aged man in the show, but he's an extremely grumpy, middle-aged old man. He gets frustrated super easily if things don't go his way or if some kind of hunch he has doesn't pan out the way he wants it to. And then once that does happen, he either takes it out on Gavin or he takes it out on another person, Perot, who is Fawcett Green's village policeman. Fawcett Green is the village where this is happening, right? Where the Hollingsworths lived. And even though he does have a hunch, like even if he does have a hunch at some point, he won't explain it to anyone, right? The number of times, like, he'll kind of just stand there and be like something is in his mind. And then Troy's like, oh, like, what's up, Gov? Like, what's happened? What are you thinking? And he's like, you should know. And I'm like, just tell the man. You're his senior. Like, teach him. Don't just be like, figure it out. Because he's like, it's like that kind of, what's it called? That kind of view where it's like, you have the exact same information that I have, so you should reach the exact same conclusion. Which obviously isn't the case because you're more senior than this guy. You're meant to help him if he can't, like, get to it himself. That's the whole point of being a more senior person. You don't just, like, get pissed off if people don't pick up exactly what you're picking up. It's just so dumb. And then, as I said, right, he really grills Perot. He grills Perot throughout the whole... I'm pronouncing the names, like, a myriad of different ways because I don't actually know how to pronounce it. Again, a paperback reader, not an audio listener, I apologize. But he really grills Perot because at the beginning of the book, Perot does something wrong. And honestly, it makes sense because he didn't realize what was happening was a kidnapping because he's just like the village policeman. The most he gets, like, the most kind of intense thing he's handled is like people being like upset at each other and he's got to kind of like flatten it out, right? Not people getting kidnapped. So I feel like they don't take that into consideration. They're just like, oh my God, you did the wrong thing, fuck you. And it's like, okay, calm down, right? And then in the book, at the end of the book, once the case is all said and done, Tom is like, oh, you know, I kind of feel bad. I kind of dogged him, right? Because originally he was actually going to complain and try and get Perot, like, kicked out because of the force. Or, like, yeah, of the force. Because he was like, you just suck. And then he's like, you know what, maybe I won't do that. And I'm like, I kind of was like, oh, that's nice. But then I was like, you know, it's not even that nice because, like, you were taking it to such an extreme anyway. And then you don't actually go and apologize to Perot. It's just like something you've just sat and been like, oh, I shouldn't have done that. Oh, well. And it's like, you know, sometimes you see Perot's, very rarely, but you do see Perot's perspective. And this man is really like, fucking like, he really gets given shit. And he's just really struggling. This poor man is stressed throughout the whole thing. He's like, OMG. And then, like, when he does try to make up for it, like, he gets berated. So he tries to make up for it at one point by writing a really detailed police report for Barnaby so that Barnaby can be, so he can be like, oh, look, I'm actually, like, really trying. And then Barnaby sees it and he's like, bitch, I just wanted a yes or no. What is this, like, novel you've written me? And I'm like, what do you want? What do you want? Like, I don't understand. Like, he's trying his best. What is this junk? Like, I think I'm just also really triggered because I've met people like this where they're just not happy with whatever you give them. And I'm like, you just squish them. Anyway, let's move on to Gavin Troy before I, like, fucking, like, tear the page out or something, man. However, this might get me even more heated because Detective Sergeant Gavin Troy is one of the worst characters that isn't set up to be a villain that I've ever read. He's disgusting. I'm so glad they didn't keep these personalities in the show because no one would watch it. And I'm like thinking, because Graham is a woman. Why would you write this character? It's just awful. Like, the two main characters are awful. And especially Gavin Troy. He's so sexist. Despite having a wife and a young daughter, he's so sexist. He's so misogynistic. It's disgusting. And he's also the cockiest man alive. I don't know why. He thinks he's a bee's knees. He flirts with every woman. And when they reject him, he thinks he's the victim. Even though they know he's married and they're like, can you, like take a step back, man? What the fuck's going on? And he's like, oh, like, why? Like, his internal dialogue will be like, all these hot ladies are like, you know, you talk to them and they give you shit. It's like, no, it's because you're married. Like, go talk to your wife. What is this? And then the book, they add salt to the wound. They talk about how his wife is like, has super low self-esteem, and like, Troy barely gives anything, but the little trinket of like, you know, kind of little pinch of love he gives, she like takes and runs with it. And I'm like, oh my job. Oh my God, this is why, oh my job, like I don't know what the hell I was saying. Oh my God, this is why he acts the way he does as well. Like, it's just like, he just thinks he can get away with anything, and it's disgusting. And also, he thinks he's top shit as well when it comes to being a detective, but he actually didn't help out with anything in the entire book. The only thing he did was smoke, say, oh, what's up, Gov, or bother Pero. That's all he did. And he had one tip. He had one tip that he followed, and it eventuated into something. But he didn't even think of that tip on his own. He was having a conversation with his cousin, and his cousin brought something up, and he was like, oh yeah, I should check. His cousin's like, oh, you should check this out. It might be useful. And he's like, oh yeah, maybe I should, eh? And obviously it eventuates to something, and he's like, oh, I'm fucking gassed, man. I'm so glad I did that. Yeah, go me. And I'm like, it wasn't even you. Like, your cousin had to tell you this, and like in conversation, and you're acting as if you're like fucking like God's gift. It's like, oh my God, it's awful. And anyway, back to Pero. So he has no like grievances at the end about himself being like, oh, you know, I treated Pero wrong. I shouldn't have done what I did. No, he goes beyond. He just he calls him Parrot for most of the book. And Parrot or Polly. You know, like Polly. Does Polly want a cracker or whatever, that Polly Parrot shit. Calls him Parrot or Polly throughout the book. And then when Pero actually tries to stand up for himself, he like is this close to like fucking like taking the boy out. And I'm like, mate, this is so bad. Like, you literally get called out for doing the wrong thing, and your response isn't to like take a step back and be like, what's going on? It's to be like, no, I need to like, right? And yeah, it's awful. And then what's worse, so he, as I said, doesn't figure out anything on his own. One tip he does get is from his cousin. And then when they find Simone, he falls in love with her. He's like, oh my God, she's so beautiful. I love her. He literally is like, I'm in love. And I'm like, you have a wife? What do you mean you're in love? What the hell is this shit, bro? Oh my God. And then like, that clouds his judgment 100%. Like, Barnaby's trying to get shit done. Like, look, he's not doing a good job, but he's like at least trying. Gavin is like besotted with Simone. Like, he sees Simone, he's like, all right, I'm good. Like, I don't need to be a detective anymore. I just need to hold her hand. I just need to tell her it's all good and all that. And obviously Barnaby's like, can you keep it in your pants? And then like, it's just awful. It's awful. It's like the cherry on top of the really disgusting cupcake. It's just, absolutely disgusting. So essentially, just don't read this book. Don't read this book. Just don't read the books. There's 7 books. Okay, my other finger is a bit busy. There's 7 books. Don't read any of them. Okay, I read one of them and that was really good. But honestly, after reading this, just watch the show. There are so many better mystery books out there. This is meant to be a murder mystery. There's a murder and there's mystery. But the detectives put in charge of the mystery and solving it are just not doing a great job. So, yeah, give the book a miss. Read something else. Off the top of my head, Local Woman Missing. I can't remember who it's by. I want to say it's Mary something. Fantastic book. I read it in like 2 days. I gave it to my mom. It comes in large print, ladies and men with bad eyesight like me. Comes in large print. She read it all in one day. I know I've just seeped another thing, but I feel like if a book is really bad and I'm like, don't read it, I still want to leave you with a recommendation. So I'm like, let me at least recommend a different book to you. I unfortunately don't have this book on me because I did borrow it. Most of the books I read are borrowed from the library because I really can't afford 15, 20, 30, even 40 sometimes bucks on like a paperback or like a hardcover. So I will borrow my books. But yeah, that's all I have to say for today's one. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. See you guys. Don't read this book, okay?